I've been coming across, so I'm trying to do this thing. We talked about it last week, where I'm speaking more in my posts, particularly on TikTok. I'm trying to do some more where I'm actually addressing like questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've been going through like some of these people are asking questions or making comments and about training stuff in particular. And there's this weird thing about social media. We've talked about this before about doing the fancy stuff and like making things look as cool as
Yeah.
you can make it look
Yeah.
and whatever. So I'm against that. I had this conversation again the other day. We were talking about social media stuff and how everything is like pretend on social media,
Yeah.
or the highlights are like whatever. And I was thinking, like, when it comes to training, I have like a very strong stance against promoting bullshit training things just for views.
Yeah.
So I understand the marketing thing, and like you want to have some clickbaity stuff so people click on all that. I get all that from like the business side of it. But there's some people that post things that are just, there's no way that they do this in their training program, or there's no way that they actually practice this on the ice,
Yeah.
or there's no way that this is something you could use for the thing you're trying to be good at. We talk about it with skill stuff all the time and doing things that are game transferable, not 15 versions of the Michigan and all this stuff, but particularly with off-ice training, like exercise selection and what you're doing in your workouts. Some of the stuff I see from like people that are like legit professionals too.
Yeah.
I look at it and I'm like, there's no way that you're having your top guys do this move.
Yeah, we
in
saw
their
some with
workouts.
the combos. We're like, what the
Yeah,
hell,
I'm
man?
like, it's, like jump on one leg, spin around into a box jump, and then land in the
Yeah.
push-up. It's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
So just, I wanted to point this out for kids in particular, and for parents too, because a lot of parents don't know either. When you're watching things on social media, the things that, in terms of off-ice training, and on-ice training too, but in terms of off-ice especially, if you're trying to get a certain result, like, just keep it simple, man. Like, the simple things are what work. Like, if you need to get stronger, do compound lifts. If you need to get faster, do some sprints. If you don't have to do like the crazy box jump, plyometric, high knee, spin jump. Like, you don't have to do any of this stuff. It's just unnecessary. And I want to get your thoughts on this part, because I find a lot of people, for off-ice training, they try to recreate on the ice, off the ice. So, like, people talk about sport-specific training and stuff like that. And somebody was talking to me the other day. They commented that you should never do a 400-meter run as a hockey player because it's not a hockey move. And I'm like,
well,
the only hockey move
is
when,
eating.
Yeah, like when you have your skates and your equipment and your stick and you're on the ice, that's hockey move.
Yeah.
Anything else is not a hockey move.
Right.
Because you can't perfectly recreate the mechanics off the ice. So my philosophy, at least with training, and you could give me your thoughts on this, is like, you're trying to do things you can't do on the ice, off the ice. That's the point of the off ice. Do your on the ice, on the ice.
Yep.
Like, I
agree.
I'm in favor of, you're trying to recreate similar movement patterns and stuff. All that's fine, but to a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is neat because I've said this before. There's always a method of the month, and I've lived a lot longer than you, so I've seen more methods and more months.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For sure.
So like there's always the terminology. Like, for a while it was always core, work your core, work your core. Like, what exactly is working your core, right? So people that don't really understand that, they think it's your stomach or your trunk and stuff. Like, it's kind of your knees to your chest.
Bottom of your chest, yeah.
Yeah, and it's being stronger. Well, yeah, it makes sense. And so they got to the point where it's like, and you shouldn't be heavy or strong up top. Well, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you just think about doesn't make sense. Like, it has to make sense. And then there's so many things, right? Like, it was Olympic lifting before, and it's still a staple for a lot. But then a lot of people, you should never Olympic lift. It's like, I know some people that got real strong and it's really good for them. It's like really good. It helps you with quickness and speed, power, everything, right? Like, their core lifts. So that's, someone could argue that, okay, whatever. But like, a real one that sticks out to me as you were talking about that is when I was in the 2000s, early 2000s, and late 1900s, late 1990s, yeah, and early 2000s, you were seeing a lot of this is functional movement, right? What does functional mean? What does functional mean?
Yeah.
If you're not doing something that is functional, then it's dysfunctional. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, but what was really getting popular is that's when the Bosu balls came out.
Yeah.
and the Swiss balls came out. So is there a place for them? Yeah, but people were doing squats on Bosu balls. So for me, and I was not new to the game, like as far as training goes, but I was not really experienced either. I had the ability to look at that and go, okay, that's dumb, but maybe it's not. But that just seems really dumb to be standing on a ball that can burst
Yeah.
with weight on your shoulders. What are we trying to do here?
Yeah.
Right? Well, it help you stabilize. It's like, okay, like maybe, but are we kind of not keeping the main thing anymore? What are we
Right.
doing? We're squatting on a Bosu ball. So if you're on a Bosu ball, how much weight can you actually put on
That's right.
on your back or front squat or whatever? And so you're eliminating the main thing. The most important thing is you're trying to have strength and you're compensating it with being off balance a little bit, unstable. What to me that's unfunctional,
Yeah.
dysfunctional, and it didn't make sense. And there's people that got injured, but some people got good at it. And, there was the pictures of, and it was this, you'd sell like it was a new thing, right? You'd sell,
Right.
and it was the same thing with bands and stuff like that when they came out. It's like, okay, like I questioned it at first. I questioned what are the bands for? Like, why do you need a band and all that kind of stuff? And then when you actually look into it, you can say, okay, there's benefits to it. But there's all kinds of different workout schemes that come out that if it looks weird, like that's what I say to a hockey player. If you're doing a movement and it feels right, it's right. If it feels like it's smooth like butter, everything, your body's not feeling weird about it, it's right. But the second that something's even a little bit off, like you feel like you have to work to make this movement, it's like there's something wrong about it. So you need to fix it. So I would say that with the working out is, look at things. Don't get sold on all the like you said, the fancy stuff. Like, like you said, you showed me one, there's like it was a box jump, landing on one foot, spinning around, jumping to another one, a hop here, a push up, and then come on, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's fine if you want to have some fun for a little bit, but to say that's your staple, no, it's not.
Right. And this is the problem with the social media stuff is because it's promoted like this is what I do. Like I see this one guy, he posts videos about, do you want to get a better shot? And he's showing like weightlifting moves to get a better shot.
Yeah,
it's like, go shoot a puck, man. Yeah. Like you want to get a better shot? Go shoot some pucks. Or do some grip strength.
Put your hand in a bucket of rice and squeeze and do some grip strength stuff. And
exactly. So if you're telling me that you take your clients and you have them as elite hockey players do that move, I'm calling bullshit. For sure.
And I think I would I would too as a player. I'd say that doesn't even make sense to me. I might try it to see where but one of those things is you're looking for it to be good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
If you're doing like I think they had maybe a pulley system, right? And it's twisting and torquing with a pulley system or a weight. Mm-hmm. To a small degree, there might be something to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Very, very small degree, but your bang for your buck will be either shooting pucks or doing some grip strength or getting good core strength, right, or torquing, right? You can take a medicine ball and fire it against a wall and torquing, but that's not going to equal a good shot.
Yeah, and there's no. I'm not saying there's no movements you can do that will help you with whatever the skill is. Like there are.
Yeah.
But why are you in the gym?
Yeah.
Like this is what the question is. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna go work out in the gym for an hour today to improve my shot. It's like, no, right. That's not why you're going in the gym. Why would you spend an hour? Like, what a bad bang for your buck. Yeah. Like you're saying, right? Yeah. Go shoot pucks and work on your grip strength if you want that. Yeah. Work on the hip torque. That's fine. But in your environment, train in your environment for those skills. Yeah. Don't get sucked into like the bullshit movements that aren't actually real and don't actually work because you saw someone who has a reputation on social media show you that that's what you need to be doing. It's like, that's not what you need to be doing. If you want to get strong, very basic framework. If you want to get strong, do compound lifts. Very easy, right? Start like bare bones. You can do more, but as a base for you. Squat, deadlift, push, pull, right? Squat, hinge, push, pull.
Carry.
Okay, there's your strength if you want to do strength. If you're trying to do an aerobic thing, then you could just go on a bike. You can go for a run. You can do whatever. That's fine. You need to work on speed. You can do basic plyos like box jumps, lunge jumps, stuff like that. Hurdle jumps, high knees, stuff like that, or sprints, short area sprints. That's it. Like you don't have to do, this is the other thing. You don't need to do any of the other stuff. if you can do it, that's fine. But to your point, like you said, you're distracting from the main thing. Like if you're so busy trying to remember the sequence of moves
Yeah.
to complete the exercise,
Yeah.
it's like you can't actually focus on what you're doing. If you're
Yeah.
trying to get strong and somebody says, well, do it on this Bosu ball because that will help with your stability. It's like, well, yeah, but I'm trying to be strong. So
Yeah.
if I can't maximize the weight that I have on my back or in the front rack or that I'm holding, then I'm not working on my maximum strength.
That's right.
And what I'm trying to do is get stronger.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're not trying to work on your stability. You're
Yeah.
not trying to work on whatever,
That's right.
and it's not about you can never work the same movement pattern. I'm not saying do, stuff that isn't necessarily aligned with your sport. That's not what I'm saying, but you can just keep things simple. It doesn't have to be really complicated. There's no secret. Like there's no secret,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just find that people with hockey, I'm sure it's with all sports, but with hockey, it's like you're trying so hard to recreate your on ice movements off the ice that you're distracting from what you're trying to do off the ice in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah.
If assuming you're skating all summer, like use the ice to work on your on ice stuff.
For sure.
Work on your skating, work on your mechanics,
For
work
sure.
on your speed, work on all that in your environment on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
When you're off the ice, use that time to the best of your ability to work on the thing you need to work on.
Yeah.
And if it's getting stronger, if it's getting faster, if it's whatever your thing is, your aerobic fitness, whatever you need, there are very simple methods that you can use to do that. You don't need fancy moves. You don't need fancy stuff. You don't need something that's going to take, 5 workouts to figure out how to do the sequence in the first place.
Yeah.
Just basic stuff, especially when you're just starting out, especially early
Yeah.
on, just basics. You don't need anything
Well, it's
that's
the same
crazy.
as on the ice. I